Hey guys, so this is Mara at the Reading Hedgehog doing a video for my guest post, Book Opposites, because I thought it would be fun. I originally got the idea for this guest post from Little Book Owl. She did the Book Opposites book tag. She wasn't the one that came up with it, but that's where I first saw it. I don't know who actually came up with it. So we will get started. I apologize right now for glare or anything like this. This is my first time doing a video, so I'm still learning, and I did not memorize the categories, so I'm having to look down and read them on my cheat sheet, so I'm not ignoring you guys. So the first one up is the first book in your collection and the last book you bought. So the first one in my collection is Madeline by Ludwig Bimmelmans. I got this when I was about 4 for Christmas in a 4-book package, and Madeline was like my favorite book when I was a kid. The last book I bought as of when I've made this video is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I'm sure once this video is up I will have bought other books, but as of right now, this is the last one I bought, and I cannot wait to read it. I've been hearing such good things about it. The next one is a cheap book and an expensive book. I have these out of order. My cheap book is The Prophecy of the Stones by Flavia Boujor. I literally got this for 95 cents at Powell's City of Books, and it is in pristine condition, and I read this a long time ago. I don't remember what it's about anymore. I must have liked it because I bought it, and it was on my to-buy list. My most expensive book is the new annotated Sherlock Holmes by Leslie S. Klinger. This is only one book in the set. There's 3, and I do have all 3, but I wasn't going to hold all 3 up because I can't do that. But each book was about $50 to $75. My parents got me all 3 for a Christmas, and that is what launched my official Sherlock Holmes fanaticism, I guess, was when I first read the canon. Next up is a book with a male protagonist and a book with a female protagonist. For the male, I chose Ripper by Stephen Petruccia. Carver Young is the male protagonist in this book. And this was a 2012 favorites read. It was really, really good, and I really want to reread it again. I'll have to do that. For my female protagonist, I chose The Case of the Missing Marquis by Nancy Springer. It is book 1 in the Enola Holmes mystery series. And Enola Holmes is Sherlock Holmes' much, much younger sister, but she's just as brilliant as he is, and this is just a really, really fun series for any Sherlockian or mystery fan. Next is a book that you read really fast and a book that took you ages to read. The really fast one was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I read this in about 2 days once I got it because, well, 1, I was pressed for time because I had to see the movie, but I wanted to read the book before I saw the movie. And 2, it was just really good. It's a thick book, but it's like, really, it's really short chapters and stuff. A book that took me ages to read is Eldest by Christopher Paolini. It is the 2nd book in the Inheritance cycle. 1, it's really long. 2, I got really bored and I actually stopped reading it, and I picked it up years later and did get through it, and I still don't like it. Just not my thing. Next up is a pretty cover and an ugly cover. Because all of my guest posters are Choosing Entwined by Heather Dixon, I felt I should go with something else, even though that's what I wanted to choose. But I went with Strands of Bronze and Gold by Jane Nickerson. It's a fairy tale retelling of Bluebeard. This is one of my ultimate favorite fairy tale retellings. It is so good and so creepy and just awesome. And there goes my cheat sheet. For a ugly cover, I chose Enders by Lisa Price, and it is the sequel to Starters in the Starters and Enders duology. And I know I'm kind of alone in this, but I just look at it. It's hideous. It doesn't match. You got this random girl's face on the cover, and I hate it. I don't like it at all. So let's see if I can do this without my cheat sheet. So the next one is a national book and an international book. For the national book, I chose Cinder by Marissa Mayer. It is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. And not only is she national, but she's actually local to where I live. So I got kind of a double thing going there. For international, I chose Cat Incorrigible by Stephanie Burgess. It is the first book in the Unladylike Adventures of Cat Stevenson trilogy. The author is from Wales. She lives in Wales. And this is just a really fun comedy, historical fantasy series that it was so cute. I love it. The next category is a thin book and a thick book. For a thin book, I chose Oddfellows' Orphanage by Emily Winfield Martin. It's not the thinnest book on my shelf, I don't think, but I wanted to show this book off. I mean, look at the illustrations. And it's got a little hedgehog inside. I had to choose that one. For a thick book, I chose Ink Death by Cornelia Funke. It is the third book in the Ink World trilogy, and one of my favorites, because it just is. The next category is a fiction book and a non-fiction book. My fiction choice was kind of random, but I chose The Glass Casket by McCormick Templeman. I haven't read this yet. It's a new release-ish. It's a couple months old. I want to read it. I will get around to it very soon, but yeah, like I said, it was kind of a random choice. I just chose it. For nonfiction, I chose Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden. It is the true story about a North Korean kid who escapes from Camp 14, which is like one of the hardest camps over there, I guess. I haven't read the whole thing, but what I have read, it's very, very phenomenal and just really interesting. Next up is a way too romantic book and a action-filled book. For way too romantic, I chose Defy by Sarah B. Larson. It's the first book in a planned trilogy, I think it is. I did like this book, even though logically I should not have, but I did, and it's still way too romantically filled, in my opinion, but I don't know, maybe it was the mood. I did like it, oddly enough. For action-filled, I chose Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz. It is the first book in the Alex Rider series, the best teen spy series out there, in my opinion. I'm not biased at all, totally not. Finally, we have a book that made you happy and a book that made you sad. A book that made me happy was A Tale of Two Castles by Gail Carson. Yes, Gail Carson Levine. Can't believe I forgot her name for a minute. It is the first book in, I think, a planned duology. But this book it made me happy. I got it on a day where I was really kind of irritated, and I read it and it made me happy. It's got a dragon, Minor, who is kind of like Sherlock Holmes, but isn't Smog, surprisingly. And it's got Puss in Boots, and it's just, I liked it. It's fun. Don't judge me. So for a sad book, I chose Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. And you've probably heard a lot of people rave about this. World War II, girl gets caught by the Gestapo. The book's told from her confession. Really, really sad ending. I loved the book, but I was sobbing the entire time, but it was good. So those are my picks for this guest post, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I get better making videos, and yeah, let me know some of the books that you have that match some of these categories.